In terms of then the role of gas in the supply mix, that in itself is changing or has changed. As you all know better than I, there's been a decline in North Sea gas in the last 10 years, but the industry has responded really well in building new infrastructure. If and when, and I would imagine when I see the Secretary of State, new Secretary of State, I think I can genuinely say to her that Britain has a really diverse source of gas supply. We have gas interconnectors, we have pipelines, we have LNG importation terminals, and while again, not to be complacent, we do have a diverse source of supply, and I think that's very much in our national interest. However, and this is moving slightly to the future, the demand for gas is uncertain. Whenever some gas senior executives come talk to me, this is one issue I think that preoccupies them. What will the demand for gas be like not in 2020? That's an interesting question in itself. But what will the British demand for gas be like in 2050, in 2080? By and large, I think many agencies say there's a bright future for natural gas. It is abundant, it has low carbon qualities, and it's relatively low cost. The phrase "a golden age for gas" has been prophesied, or the dash for gas. I'm not sure this is true. It may well be, but the cautionary note I spoke of at the start would be not to be complacent about the future. I'm sure you're not, but I am emphasizing that to you anyway. If you look at gas power generation in and of itself, you will see that in some sense the anticipated growth of gas in the power mix of producing electricity in the UK has not risen quite as quickly as might have been anticipated. At the moment, and it varies from month to month, coal is still slightly more baseload generation than gas. So that's one particular factor. Will that change? Will gas become the baseload fuel? It was certainly prophesied as doing so. It's not self-evidently become so yet. But of course, then the other perception of gas generation, electricity generation, was seen as the solution to intermittent renewables. If we're bringing on more and more wind into the system, then gas generation and flexible gas generation can fill the gap. That, I think, can, will, must indeed happen. But it's going to require flexibility from the industry. Flexibility not just in the generators themselves, but across the entire supply chain to make sure that the industry responds flexibly to the challenge of more renewable generation.